So this is not going to be an easy story to cover, as last night we found out that Alex Jones was just depositioned for 3.5 hours, and the law firm that was deposing him released the entire footage online. If you go and type in Alex Jones, there are a number of headlines talking about this deposition, which Jason saw all 3.5 hours with. Jason, you have a lot of things to tell us about this video that came out, but seeing the information that I'm just seeing online, seeing from all the news results, this does not look good. These are multiple lawsuits. This doesn't look good for Jones at all. This doesn't look good for the law. This doesn't look good for free speech. What was your take after watching all of this deposition that, of course, the media is in a frenzy with right now?
So here's the deal, guys. When they say 7 awkward moments from the Alex Jones tape deposition, I don't know that it's not 70. This was extremely long. In fact, when I'm reading this, to me, some of the biggest key points they didn't even bring up. So what are the highlights? What are the lowlights? What was actually discussed in this? First of all, I want to say this. Everybody loses. This is not going to be a bash Alex Jones piece, okay? Everybody's going to lose from this lawsuit. Free speech.
We need to stick to the facts here, because obviously mainstream media is bashing him. They're kind of bringing him out, dragging him out, trying to, of course, shame him. And we have to admit here, Alex Jones doesn't, do himself any service as well. Let's just try to stick to as the factual basis as we can here. But this is serious. These are not just one lawsuits. These are multiple lawsuits, Jason. Sorry, go ahead.
So some of the things that obviously this lawyer wanted to do was get Jones on the record about what he had said about Sandy Hook, when he had said it about Sandy Hook, and then play video clips that were every time to the contrary of what he had stated only moments before. If you want to sit there and go with the talking points that he's going to put out and that he tries to filibuster with, that those are heavily edited clips, that's fine. You can do that. But if you have any sense and semblance of discernment, you can go back and watch the unedited clips, and the result is absolutely the same. Luke, at one point, very, very early on, Jones looks at the clip and he's like, "You're playing Media Matters edited clips." And the lawyer's like, "No, I edited these myself." And then, after being presented with a clip of him clearly saying that the entire thing was quote-unquote staged, okay? There's no refuting that clip. If you'd like, you can go watch that excerpt over at my personal channel. No commentary whatsoever, just what the lawyers asked. And Jones pulls a Clinton. Remember when Clinton says, "Well, that depends on what your definition of is." Infamous line. Jones actually asks the lawyer what staged means, Luke. He asks him what staged means. And the lawyer responds, "Look, I'm not here to give you the definition of staged or any of these words. I'm asking you if you said it." So if that wasn't enough, he then plays about, I would say that this clip was between 20 and 45 seconds in length. And Jones gets asked if that's him on the clip. And he's like, "Yeah, that's me on the heavily edited clip." Nothing was edited about it. It was a chunk of 30 to 45 seconds. And again, it was damning. Jones tried to filibuster in the sense that he constantly wanted to go back to, never asked about weapons of mass destruction, always talking about weapons of mass destruction. Never asked about babies and incubators in the first Gulf War. Always went back to babies and incubators in the first Gulf War. Luke, never asked about Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett must have been brought up by Jones at least 4 to 5 times. So guys, here, look, I'm not trying to be the hero. I'm not trying to be the villain. I watched the entire thing, and I'm sorry. The guy who's telling you that these are heavily edited or he didn't say this, he was unaware in this deposition and so ill-prepared of when Sandy Hook took place. He was unaware a year plus later when the initial Sandy Hook investigation, which I think was like a 70 to 90 gigabyte download, Luke. I got it. I downloaded it because I had actual questions that didn't involve crisis actors, green screens, drills, kids in circles. I had legitimate questions. So I did what an investigator does. I got the information. Jones at one point said on his show, Luke, that Sandy Hook had been closed for over a year and it was falling apart. When the lawyer went to him and said, "Where'd you get that information?" And then he showed him a video that, again, became available to the entire public after that first year. Jones didn't know what the video was, didn't know that was inside the school, and then when asked if it looked abandoned or falling apart, he had the nerve to say, "Yes, it looks dilapidated." I mean, guys, look, I want you to watch the 3.5 hours. Plenty of you out there have watched a full 3-4 hour broadcast from Jones. You had no problem sitting through that. Well, this is just like another broadcast, except for Jones on the receiving end.
Well, it definitely seems like, of course, they specifically, this law firm created a specific YouTube channel just for this alone. I mean, obviously, this is getting a lot of headlines. Obviously, this is a lot of personal information. Obviously, this sheds a lot of light on things. And again, it doesn't look good for everyone all around. To be fair, off the top of my head, I don't remember the exact date that Sandy Hook happened, but I think it's an understatement that Alex Jones is, quote, loose with the facts. It's something that I believe has been documented, and when you're loose with the facts on very serious situations, you're providing a disservice. And I believe he not only provided a lot of the people a disservice, but also himself. I mean, right now we're hearing that there's over 10 lawsuits, 10 people separately suing Alex Jones because of this broadcast. This is going to have, again, very vast ranging effects, especially on freedom of speech. We're also hearing right now that one of the parents who was suing him actually committed suicide earlier this month alone. Again, the first 2 lawsuits that were against him were seeking $1 million in damages on the grounds of a severe degree of mental stress and anguish and high degree of psychological pain. That's what the people who are suing him. He's being sued not only by the families, but also even an FBI agent in this entire case. They're saying that Alex Jones's defamatory publications were designed to harm the plaintiff's reputation and subject the plaintiff to public contempt, disgrace, ridicule, or attack. The lawsuits allege defendants acted with actual malice. That's pretty much what's being held here, and it's going to be decided by a jury of the peers that are going to decide the amount of money, because these lawsuits are not being settled and they're being made public for a reason. And what do you think of the main kind of talking point that we're seeing right now? Because the first thing that happens when you type in Alex Jones into a search engine right now is, of course, him talking about the psychosis defense. That's one of the major talking points right now. Alex Jones says under oath that psychosis made him a Sandy Hook, this is New York Magazine, hoaxer. What do you think of that kind of defense, and what can you tell us more about the exact comments that Jones said about this, Jason?
So earlier on in the first video, he gets asked that, and he does say it's a type of psychosis. And you're like, boy, this is not good that he's saying. Remember, these were definitive statements that he was making. They're not talking about asking questions. They were bringing up definitive statements. Now, when we talk about the psychosis, you get to the end, okay, about 3 hours and 10 minutes. I think it's an hour and 10 minutes into the second video. And basically he says, I've got 45 minutes left, but I think we're going to let you off. Let me confer with my other, law partners. We'll give you a break. He comes back and he asks him directly about the psychosis. And Jones does make a comment. He goes, well, listen, back then I just thought that, kind of that groupthink. He actually uses the term groupthink, that everything was staged. And he starts talking about, again, those events. And now he says he's somewhere more in the middle. Yet, Luke, when he's trying to defend himself and talking about staged events and documentation that shows staging, he still gets so much wrong. And I think this is important to point out. For instance, he's been invoking the Northwoods document lately. He did it in the Joe Rogan Experience podcast recently, and now in this taped deposition, which is only going to make him look very poorly. He keeps saying that in that document, they were going to stage gun shootings, mass shootings in movie theaters. It is nowhere in that document. I promise you that. Anybody can go read that document. It has been available since James Bamford leaked it, and now you can get it, I believe, on the CIA's own page. And let me tell you what he may be referring to, okay? They talk about a Miami terror campaign It's very broad, okay? That doesn't mean shooting up movie theaters. And then, instead of mass shootings, it actually refers to plastic explosives. So those are far and away different things. And there is another point in this where Jones gets brought up how he talked about somebody, I believe it was either in paramilitary gear or SWAT gear, that was being chased into the woods. The infamous helicopter video we've all seen, Luke, right? I mean, the lawyer tears him up. He's like, show me the video of the guy in the SWAT gear. Show me the guy in the paramilitary gear. You never saw such a video, did you? And he starts talking in circles and tries to talk about that video. And he's like, so now you're describing to me somebody in camo pants and a black shirt, but you're not even sure they're in camo pants. Do you assume everybody on the street that you see wearing camo pants is SWAT or paramilitary? I mean, this lawyer, he went to Chinatown, baby. He did not leave any stone unturned. And this, any way you slice it, guys, no matter how much you love InfoWars, how much you love Alex Jones, if you watch this and you can honestly tell me he did a good job here, or that he has a chance of winning and beating this defamation suit, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The media is piling on him and attacking him, and that's not something we want to do here. But it does have to be said. It's important to question everything. But once you're saying something is definitive, especially on a very serious matter, you better have all your facts straight on that. And let's be honest here. Alex Jones has been loose with the facts many times. It's something we publicly criticized him. It's something I privately even criticized him on. And again, he just kind of kept going forward. And now we're in this situation that looks like this case is going to have far-ranging effects, not only on him, but also on other kind of media out there. So again, to me, question everything, but always make sure if you're bringing up something that you are claiming to be a fact, make sure you have all the facts to support it. I mean, that's pretty much something that needs to be said here because, again, not a good case. As you said earlier, Jason, everyone's losing all around here. And, I got nothing else to say. Anything else you want to say? And do you want to end this, Jason?
Yeah, I just want people to use their own discernment. Again, this isn't something that you should take lightly. If you are out there promoting Alex Jones, promoting InfoWars, know what you're promoting. Okay, and that's not. I'm not here to tell you not to go there. They've done a lot of great work. In many ways, they helped me with my career, putting out some very great documentary films. But on a subject-by-subject basis, it's up to you to have your own discernment. And just because it's being parroted by somebody who you respect or you enjoy listening to, does not make it fact.
That's why we keep saying question everything. Don't believe us. Do your own homework. Do your own research as much as you can. There's a reason we have all the articles here listed, so you guys can fact check everything yourself, which is extremely important. Good point. Keep going, Jason.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, we're out here trying hard to bring you guys the truth unfiltered. That's why we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4 videos a day, 1 on the main, 3 on the backup, hitting all sorts of subject matter, from the alternative media to the real mainstream media that's lying to you, to what's going on in Syria, in Israel, in your own backyard in the United States, in New York. Luke's over in Arizona. Folks, we're all over the place. We're bringing you stuff from France and beyond. And without your support, we couldn't do it. So, hey, please, please, please consider getting yourself a shirt, subscribing to the newsletter, or just smashing the subscribe button on the backup, the main, the notification bell. But most importantly, being the change you want to see in the world.